Thursday, May 7th. We've got Dirty 30. It's going to be 30 reps of a bunch of different exercises. We're going to kind of go through those, and I understand that we don't have all the equipment available, so we're going to go through a list of modifications as well. When we get into the movement standards, I'm not going to cover all the movements just because so many of them are ones that we do on a routine basis. But what I will do is touch on a bunch of the modifications that we have for today. Okay, without further ado, Dirty 30 is 4-time 30 box jumps, 30 jumping pull-ups, 30 kettlebell swings, 30 lunges, 30 knees to elbow, 30 push press, 30 back extensions, 30 wall balls, 30 burpees, and finishing off with 30 double unders. Okay, a few of our modifications today for our box jumps. If we don't have a box, we can pick an object to step up or jump up onto. So our first modification there would be a box step up. From there, we can also look at doing tuck jumps to replace those box jumps. For our jumping pull-ups, we can substitute ring rows, bent over barbell rows, or bent over odd object rows. For kettlebell swings, if we don't have a kettlebell, we can substitute something like a single dumbbell swing or an odd object swing. Lunges are lunges, there's no need to modify those. For our knees to elbow, if we don't have access to a pull-up bar, we can substitute V-ups. If we're not competent in V-ups, we can just simply substitute some sit-ups. Our push press today. Push press is at 45 pounds. It's meant to be with a barbell. I understand everyone doesn't have a barbell. If you don't have a barbell, simply a set of dumbbells will suffice for those push press. For our back extensions, they're generally written to be done on a GHD machine. I understand most of us, if not all of us, don't have access to one of those in our garage gym. So we're going to substitute some good mornings, and we'll go through a couple of different good morning options, or some Superman holds as a substitution there. For wall balls, if we don't have a medicine ball or we don't have a spot that we can do wall balls, we'll simply substitute some dumbbell thrusters. Once again, burpees are burpees, so no substitution there. For our double unders, if we don't have a jump rope or we don't have double unders to begin with, we can substitute some of those double taps or some of those lateral line hops. Like I explained, I'm not going to go over every single one of the movements or every single one of the modifications for you guys. We do most of these on a fairly regular basis, so you guys are all familiar with the movements. What I am going to touch on are all the modifications or the movements that we don't necessarily do very often or might not be familiar with. The first one I'm going to touch on is the modification for our box jump, and that's going to be those tuck jumps. What I'm going to do is find kind of my squat or my jumping stance. I'm going to jump, and I'm going to pull my knees up toward my chest. What I want to do is make sure that my knees come past the crease of my hips. Each one of those tuck jumps is going to count as one rep. The next movement that we'll cover that we don't use very often are going to be those jumping pull-ups. I have a box and a pull-up bar. This is what our setup's going to look like. We want to find in our pull-up station somewhere where that bar bisects our arm right around the wrist. We're going to take our grip on the bar, lower ourselves till we come to a full hang, then we're just going to use our legs to jump and pull ourselves up and over that pull-up bar. Each rep, I'm coming back to full extension of my arms. For those back extensions, we can go with a good morning. Now these can be done one of several ways. We can cross our hands in front of our chest, hands behind our head. If we want to use a weighted object and hold that in front of our chest, we're just going to hinge forward at the hips, send our butts back, a little stretch in our hamstrings, squeeze and stand it up. That'll count for a rep. with those back extensions, or we can do a Superman hold. We're just gonna go face down on the floor, hands above our heads, legs straight back behind us. We're gonna squeeze our glutes, squeeze our back, lift our legs and our arms up off the floor, hold for a pause, and return. Those will count for a rep on the Superman hold for those back extensions. Our last one to cover for modifications for those wall balls would be a single dumbbell thruster. We're just going to grab our dumbbell by both heads of that dumbbell, bring it in front of our chest, squat, stand and press to full extension overhead. For that warm up today, we're going to start out with 10 Spider-Man reach and twists. Reach into that ceiling, dropping that elbow into the floor. We'll go 10 on one side, 10 on the other side. We'll go 10 push-ups to downward dog, top of the push-up position. Pushing my head through my arms, a little stretch in my shoulders. Back down into a push-up. We're gonna go 10 good mornings. Just cross our hands in front of our chest. And hinge forward at the hips. Send our butts back till we get a little stretch in those hamstrings. Squeeze and stand it up. We'll go 10 alternating reverse lunges. So from our standing position, we're just gonna lunge backwards. Back knee is gonna touch the floor and stand it up. Alternating sides every rep for 10 reps. We'll go 20 sit-ups. Inchworms to a push-up, hinging forward at the hips, walking our hands out to the top of the push-up position, push up, walking our hands back into our feet. We'll go 10 more good mornings. Once again, crossing our hands in front of our chest. We're just going to hinge forward at the hips, set our butts back, a little stretch in our hamstrings, squeeze and stand it up. We'll go 10 slow controlled air squats. And then we'll go 10 nice, slow, easy burpees. We can step down, jump up, little jump and clap at the top. Now between all of these exercises, we're going to grab our jump rope and we're just going to go 20 single unders. All right, guys, go have some fun today.